Heyo guys, it's Victini Gamer here, and I have to upload this video while I still can because the Nahida banner only has 1 day left, and I have to show proof that, well, at least Nahida is on the banner. So with that being said, and you saw in the title of the video, we're gonna be doing it. So this is going to be the Nahida showcase. This is right after I did the Shan Yun showcase, by the way. So yeah, well, anyways, now it's time to actually showcase Nahida. Your video, the structure of these showcase videos, I just show the build, and then show her on teams, and then fight bosses, and then show her max damage output, and then I'll give my final thoughts and review on the character. So yeah, well, anyways, it's time to start the Nahida showcase video, starting with my build on her. So this is my Nahida build. If you are all OG viewers of this channel, you already know that I already did a Nahida showcase video, but I wanted to make an update of that video because, well, my Nahida has changed, and by changed, I mean in the constellation category changed. So I will showcase why, but if you saw the summoning video, then you probably already know what's gonna come up. So for you guys who did not see the summoning video, and if you just are a new viewer, well, stay tuned. But here is my Nahida stats right here. As you see, high EM, crit rate, crit damage, ER. So she is basically a support sub DPS. So yeah, this is what mainly everyone's Nahida is. She is either a sub, support, or main, which is really interesting because that is what Raiden is. She is a main, sub, and support. Same with Nahida. Nahida is also a main sub support. She is the same archetype as Raiden, and also the reason why people think that it's either Raiden or Nahida is the best character in the entire game. So yeah, but here, high EM, she needs EM for all her other passives and all her other stuff. The higher EM, the more she supports, the more she does damage, and the more your buffs are. So yeah, having high EM is really good. Crit rate, crit damage is here for the sub DPS spectrum, so she's able to do damage on her E, which is really good since, well, she's gonna be doing a crap ton of damage because of Dendro application. And she doesn't need ER because her burst cost is actually pretty low. You'll see in a moment on when I showcase my talents on Nahida. So yeah. As for weapon, I have 1,000 Folding Dreams. Definitely her best weapon. This is the weapon you should run if you want to give Nahida her max potential. As you see here, it basically gives her elemental buffs and also gives the party elemental buffs and also stacks on elemental mastery. So yeah, that's the reason why you should build Nahida with the max elemental mastery. Really, really busted character. You don't need the 5-star weapon, 1,000 Floating Dreams, for her to be good because there is a 3-star weapon that actually fills the same niche, and that is the Magic Guide. Yeah, the Magic Guide is a 3-star weapon that increases damage against opponents affected by Pyro and Electro. And guess what elements react to those? Dendro. So yeah, you can make Burgeon, Burning, Quicken, Hyperbloom, yeah, anything that reacts to Dendro works really well with the Magic Guide. And it's a 3-star weapon. That's free. So yeah, that is your free-to-play option, the Magic Guide. But 1,000 Floating Dreams is definitely her best weapon, of course. As for artifact set, I run 4-piece Deepwood Memories. It really depends on what artifact set you want to run on Nahida. So basically, if Nahida is your main Dendro applicator, of course run Deepwood. But if someone else runs Deepwood, then you run Gilded Dreams. So basically what I'm trying to say is you either run Deepwood or Gilded Dreams depending on if your characters run Deepwood or not. So yeah, but since Nahida is my main Dendro applicator and I also use her a lot and she is my main Dendro character, I run Deepwood. And then all my other characters run Gilded Dreams. So yeah, that's basically it. But mainly, since Alhaitham usually runs Gilded Dreams, you have to run Nahida with Deepwood. So yeah, basically the moral of the story is main Dendro applicator, Deepwood. Other Dendro characters, Gilded Dreams. So yeah. But since if your characters do run Deepwood, then you could just give your main DPS Nahida, if you are using main DPS Nahida, Gilded Dreams. So yeah, really what I'm trying to say is, and I will repeat it again, it depends on if your characters run Deepwood or not. But since my Nahida is a main Dendro applicator, I run Deepwood. As for Constellations, I have her at C2. Remember when I said that I gave her crit rate crit damage? This is why. Because she gets a flat 20% crit rate and 100% crit damage, meaning that her true stats are actually 80 or 79% crit rate, 209.8% crit damage. So yeah, that is her true stats on her E. And also, she gets a ton of damage as well, and also decreased defense on Quicken and Aggravate and all that other stuff too, which is easily applied. This is the reason why Hyperbloom is the best team in the game, because Quicken Aggravate, and you also get Hyperbloom. So yeah, really busted constellation right there. Her C1 is nothing to scoff at either. It basically increases the amount of characters that buff Shrine of Maya, which is, spoiler alert, her Q's thingy, which basically increases the amount of stuff that the Shrine of Maya has. As you see here, you see 1 character, 2 characters, 1 character, 2 characters. It basically shortens the interval or increases the damage of certain things. But since it counts for 2 characters on her C1, basically you just get this now. You just get 2 characters instead. So you can just ignore the 1 character thing. Just run 1 character and it becomes 2 characters. So yeah, that's the reason why I gave her C2. It increases her support capability as well as increases the damage she's able to do, meaning that she becomes a Dendro nuking god. So yeah. And as for talents, I have 6, 10, 10. As you see here, leveling up these 2 is a must. They are really, 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 really good on Nahida. It's your main bread and butter. But if you are running main DPS Nahida, of course, level up her normal attack. But since I am running a sub DPS and support Nahida, I run these 2. Which is really detrimental to her kit. So yeah, that is basically Nahida right there. As you see here, I use her a lot. So yeah, she is a really good Dendro character, if not the best character in the game. So yeah. But anyways, now it's time to actually put this Nahida in practice, and showcase her in Spiral Abyss teams. So, if you did see the last Nahida showcase video, I did showcase the Dendro applications. I'll basically do the same thing here, but I'll showcase even more teams since it has been a while since all her characters have been showcased. And also there are new characters that are in the game now that work well with Nahida. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just showcase her in Spiral Abyss. Alright, so here we are in Spiral Abyss, and, well, as you see here, I showcase my roster first. And if you are a longtime viewer, you already know why. It's because I don't have certain characters. So, the characters I need to point out that I don't have is Sino, I'll hate them, and Nouvelette. Yes, I don't have those 3, so I can't showcase them either. And if you're wondering if I am going to be showcasing a Fridge team, yes. And I don't have Risley either, if you are wondering. So I have to scroll down my roster to make sure that you guys know that I don't have those certain characters right here. So as you see, no Risley, no Nouvelette, no Sino, no I'll hate them. So, yeah, it is a real shame that I can't showcase those characters, but I'll try to at least substitute them for something else. So yeah. But anyways, now it's time to showcase Nahida with her teams. So I'm gonna be doing the same structure that I did on the last time I showcased Nahida, and that is to showcase her Dendro teams in action. So this time I'm gonna be showcasing at least around 8 teams, but there is endless, and I mean endless possible combinations on what you should put Nahida on. So firstly, I'm gonna be splitting it off into 2 things. So first is off-field Nahida, which is what you'll be seeing the most. And then the second half will probably just be on-field Nahida, basically Nahida with main DPS. Since I built Nahida with crit rate, crit damage, she can become a main DPS. So yes, I built her both ways. So yeah, well, anyways, it's time to actually showcase Nahida off. So first, I'm going to be doing the off-field teams, and I'm going to be showing off 4 off-field teams for you. So here it is. Here is 8 teams that I'll be showcasing, with 4 being off-field, 3 being on-field, and then 1 is a mystery team. I always love to do mystery teams at the end because I need to showcase wacky stuff with her. So yeah, but here is the main stuff out of the way. So first off, the main team that you'll probably see most of the time is a Hyperbloom team. Mainly, you want to run her with I'll Hate Them, but since I don't have I'll Hate Them, here is the best thing you'll ever get on a Hyperbloom team. There you go. This is the best Hyperbloom team that I can make, and you already know why all of these 4 are pretty broken in their own right if you are, if you do pay attention to Spiral Abyss content and also other Genshin YouTubers as to why these 4 are the bane of all existences and apocalypse. It's because they are really, really busted. So I'm gonna be finding, yeah, Yamiko's right here. I'll just choose her as the secondary character. But the reason why I wanted to showcase them on floor 11 is because of a lot of enemies. There's a lot of enemies to take care of. I'll be choosing this passive since it just gives me defense, and none of my characters use defense, so I can showcase them off with raw stats. So let's just go ham here. Let's just do this, and we can do that, and then we can tag everyone here, and then let's have Raiden wreak havoc right here. Since her Q is up, I'm able to do more reaction damage, as you see there. Really busted. And that is basically it right there. As you see here, Hyperbloom busted. Really, really busted because it combines Aggravate, Quicken, and also Hyperbloom reactions. So yeah, really busted in general. So yeah, anyways, time to move on to the second off-field Nahida team. And I will showcase it right now. Alright, so here is another really broken Dendro team, and that is Quicken / Aggravate. So the main reaction here is just Electro Dendro. That's all you need, and this team becomes god because Quicken and Aggravate is just way too busted for its own right. As you'll see in a moment here, I mean, look at that big damage. They can't do anything about it. The Dendro application just melts their health. Yeah, it is really busted. It is second to Hyperbloom as one of the best applications, in my opinion, of Dendro. So yeah, about to finish off right there, and there we go. The enemies did not stand a chance. So yeah, that is basically it for the Hyper quote-unquote Quicken and Aggravate team, because, well, they are synonymous with Hyperbloom. So yeah, well, anyways, that is it for Quicken and Aggravate. It's time to showcase another Dendro team, and I will showcase it right now. And here is another Dendro team, which is Burgeon. Not as broken as Hyperbloom or Quicken and Aggravate, but it still gets the job done. And also, I wanted to dust these 2 off anyway because I never ever use them in Abyss because well, there's no reason to use them in Abyss, but they're really broken because of how much damage they're able to do with Burgeon. Burgeon reaction is just way too busted. I mean, look at that big AoE damage, really easy to pull off since Toma is a really good pyro applicator. As you see here, look at that. Dendro damage on Burgeon. Really, really busted. And then we have Ayato here for the Hydro application to give us a bloom so we can trigger the Burgeon reaction. As you see there, bam! Really busted. And then we could just finish this off here. There we go. As you see there, Burgeon team, really, really good. I still think that the Hyperbloom team is the better Bloom team in general. But yeah, that's basically it. And speaking of Bloom teams, here is another Bloom team that you might all be familiar with. Yes, sir! The Nilou Bloom team. AKA the Explosion times 1 million team. Also, this is a on-field / off-field team, so that's what I mean by this is also a Nahida off-field team. And that's because you can either make Kokomi the main DPS, or you can make Nahida the main DPS. It doesn't really matter what you choose as the main DPS, as long as you do Nilou's 3 E's, as you see here. Kablam! There we go. And then now we can trigger the Nilou Bloom team shenaniganery. As you see here, we could just have Kokomi as one of the main Dendro applicate or one of the main Hydro applicators, and then she's able to create Bloom cores for us as well. You can use Dendro Traveler. He's a free-to-play character, which is why I use Dendro Traveler here. He's actually pretty good on a Nilou Bloom team. But you can use Nahida or Kokomi as the main DPS. But I used Nahida as an off-fielder for that showcase. But yeah, there you go. That is the Nilou Bloom team. You can either make Nahida the main or the sub. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're able to generate those Bloom cores, then you become a massive, massive damage dealer. So yeah. So there's basically the 4 off-field Nahida teams, or if you want to be technical, 3.5. But now it's time to showcase teams where Nahida can be on field. So I will start off with the Hyperbloom team, since it is one of the most used teams. And here is a Nahida on-field team. Alright, so here is an on-field Nahida team right here, which is Hyperbloom. So, well, everyone knows how broken Hyperbloom is, so there's really no introduction to be made. Cookie is here to do her E, her shenaniganery with Hyperbloom, with EM stacks, as you see there. Big damage. You already know how broken these teams are. I mean, look at that, 67k, 48k, and that's really consistent too. So yeah, really busted. And that's without Farina burst buff. So yeah, you can probably see the potential if I do put it on floor 12, but since I did it on floor 11 to showcase how her E applies to everyone, that's basically it right there. So yeah, there is the on-field Hyperbloom team, and you probably already know where this is going. You probably already guessed what the other well, 2 teams are, and also, well, half, I guess you could say 3.5, since I will be showing the on-field Nilou Bloom team. But I am getting ahead of myself here. Here is the next on-field Nahida team. Alright, so here is an on-field Nahida Quicken team. So yes, I am showcasing on-field and off-field teams. I will mention it again. That's because Nahida can be both a on-field and off-field DPS. So yeah, I just wanted to showcase that she can be both. So yeah, as you see here, big Quicken damage, and then Kazuha just basically applies Electro to everyone. He is just that busted. So I'm going to be doing it again. There we go. And I'm going to be doing Nahida Q to set up. And then there we go. You can just do Nahida charge attacks here to make everyone have the Dendro application. And yeah, there you go. As you see, really busted application right there. We can summon Oz, and there we go. Really busted. Yeah, so Nahida works as an on-field DPS, as you see there. There's really nothing for me to showcase more, but I will showcase more to you guys because, well, I like you guys a lot. So yeah, well, it's time to showcase her last on-field team, or if you want to be technical, 1.5, with the on-field Burgeon team. Alright, so here is the quote-unquote last on-field team I'll showcase, and that is the Nahida Burgeon team. So, again, Nahida will be your main applicator, as you see here, making those Dendro cores. And then Toma's big shield AoE makes the Burgeon cores, as you see there. It works really fine. I mean, look at that damage. And then since Yelan's normals will be hitting for a lot, since you are going to be using her Q most of the time, your damage will become skyrocketed, to say the least. So let's just tag everyone here, and then let's finish this off with a big Burgeon explosion, as you see there. So there we go. There is Nahida on-field Burgeon. Pretty cool. And now it's time to showcase, well, the half on-field team, and that is Nahida on-field with the Nilou Bloom team. Alright, so here is Nahida if she is an on-field damage dealer on the Nilou Bloom team. So, again, Yelan's here for Hydro application, like she always is with Q. You can replace her with Xingqiu, of course, but we're just here to showcase how much damage the Nilou Bloom team does, and look at that damage. So busted. And we can reapply her E again, and then just tag everyone here, and then deal big Bloom core damage right here. Yeah. So that's basically it. So what I'm trying to showcase here is that Nahida can be both an on-field and off-field DPS, depending on how you build her. But since I built her both ways, that is the power of her capabilities. So yeah. Well, anyways, now it's time to showcase 2 wacky teams. Yes, I did lie when I said 1. It's time to showcase at least 2 wacky teams with her. So here is another Dendro application that I have mentioned once, but I never showcased, and that is the Burning team. And I will go into the complications as to why no one uses Burning. Alright, so here is the Burning team. So the reason why no one actually uses the Burning team is because the other applications are simply just better. Because the Burning team just stacks passive damage. Think of it like Poison in games, where it just does damage over time. That is basically the Burning reaction in a nutshell. It's not really as used as Hyperbloom and Burgeon just because of the damage output it does. Burning is just there to passively take damage away. So yeah, it still can be a good game, good team, as long as you build it properly and of course have the right supports for it, like Kazuha for the Pyro damage support. But other than that, it's kind of an okay team. Not gonna lie. So yeah, that's basically it for Burning. I just wanted to showcase it at least once, since people are probably just gonna be complaining, where is the Burning reaction? Well, there you go, guys. There is your Burning reaction right there. So yeah. Well, anyways, time to showcase another wacky team as well. Here is the Freeze or Fridge team. Alright, so here is the Fridge team. And of course, after this, I'm going to be showcasing the Hyperfridge team, since that team is also used as well. But Fridge is basically just Cryo, Hydro, and Dendro. That's all you need to run to make a Fridge team. And all that is just to make a bunch of Bloom cores. And since the enemies will be frozen, you're just going to be able to do a ton of damage with cores. And that's basically it. That's how you build a Fridge team. So yeah, it's just Cryo, and then Dendro, and then Hydro. That's all you need for a common Fridge team. As you see there, it gets the job done. Especially since if you do have really good supports that spread the Hydro, like Kazuha or any other Hydro applicator, this works really well as a application, as you see there. So yeah, that is basically the Fridge team. Really good. But what if you take the Fridge team and then you give it more damage? Well, here you go, guys. Here's the Hyperfridge team. Alright, here's the last Dendro team that I will showcase before I get onto the 2 last teams I wanted to showcase really badly. So yeah, so here is the Hyperfridge team. So it's basically the Fridge team, but you just add Electro to it. So basically you just freeze the opponent solid, and then just let the Electro applicator do all the work here when you do Dendro damage. So yeah, that's basically it for the Hyperfridge team. Of course, Nahida kind of isn't the best case character here for Hyperfridge, but of course when she's the main DPS, of course she is. But as for sub, she's not. So yeah, keep that in mind if you are running Nahida on a Hyperfridge team. So yeah. But anyways, there is Hyperfridge. Now it's time to showcase 2 more teams. I know it's a lot of teams I have to showcase, but Nahida works a lot. Remember what I said in the beginning of the Spiral Abyss showcase? I said that you can mix and match her to whatever you like because she is run on mostly everyone. And I mean everyone can be ran with her. That's how good she is. So yeah. Well, anyways, here is the second to last team that I will be showcasing. Alright, here it is, guys. The Archon team. Yes, you know this is coming. And since Nahida's an Archon, I have to showcase her in the Archon team, of course. So, well, we already know how all of these Archons are really good. So, why not put the best and the best together in one team? And that is the Archon team. So, as you see here, really busted. I mean, all their Archons do their own magic, as you see there. I mean, look at that. We're already at the final set of enemies. And we're about to beat this, chamber. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, as you see there, Archon team busted as crap, like always. So, yeah. Well, anyways, now it's time to showcase the final team. And I haven't showcased it, but it's for you free-to-play players out there who did happen to pull on Nahida. Here it is, the Nahida free-to-play team. And here is the last team I'll be showcasing before I get to bosses. And this is the free-to-play team. So, what I chose for the free-to-play team is, well, what do you guess? Hyperbloom. Really busted team in general. We have Yao Yao as the healer, and of course, all her bunnies will basically put Dendro application, so we can just do normal attacks with it, and basically deal a ton of damage. And we can switch back to Nahida for DPS. So we basically have, we kind of have 2 DPSs on the team. That's what I'm trying to say here. So we have Yao Yao, and then we have Nahida. But Yao Yao's just there for the heals, basically. That's mainly her reason of being there. But yeah, as you see here, look at that damage. Look at that damage! And that's a free-to-play team, by the way. So yeah, if you can build them properly, they become gods. So yeah. Well, anyways, there we go. That is the free-to-play team, as you see there. Even with free-to-play comps, she is still really good, like always. So yeah, that is the power of Nahida. So yeah. Well, anyways, now it's time to go to Sumeru and then showcase the bosses there because, well, Nahida is from Sumeru. So yeah. Well, anyways, time to go to the first Sumeru boss, and that is with Scaramouche, aka the Wanderer. Alright, so here we are in the Scaramouche domain. So, of course, I am just gonna be choosing a team to showcase how much power Nahida is capable of. And what better way to showcase how much power Nahida is capable of with the Hyperbloom team. Yeah, one of the most busted teams in the entire game, of course. I have to showcase her in a Hyperbloom team. So yeah, I'm gonna be choosing Nahida, Farina, and then we can just go with Baiju with this one. And there we go. That is the main team that I will be hyper-focusing on. So, let's just get to it, and let's showcase the power of this team in action. So yeah. Phase 1 is just gonna be really easy since I'm gonna be bursting him down. Second phase is just a stall fest. So yeah. Well, anyways, here it is. Here is the fight. Alright. So we're gonna be doing the same basis as usual. We're gonna be doing all of our applications right here. None of them don't have their burst up, so we can just do Nahida main DPS shenanigans. But as you see here, look at that damage. Busted! And he's about to die in a moment. But we can just use that, and then we can reapply her stuff right there, and there we go. That is the first phase done with like little to no bursts. So yeah. Well, anyways, here is the second phase. So this is just gonna be a stall fest right here because we literally have nothing to do except wait for those crystals to spawn so we can attack it. So yeah. I think he's gonna summon his elemental bombs. Is he? Yeah, there's his elemental bombs. We can just use I guess we could just use this. Get one of them out of the way. Ow, that hurt. Luckily, we do have Baishu to heal ourselves. And we can just use this to attack. There we go. There's half of his phase done. We'll teleport to this. And we can just teleport to that one right there. Alright, now we need one more to... This will be it right there. And then let's attack that. And then he should be almost done with his attack, and then we can just go to his desperation phase, which is right here. Yeah, he's about to do his desperation phase. Oh yeah, by the way, that's a glitch. If you time that, if you time your character switch correctly, you can actually trigger that and skip the animation cutscene. So yeah, fun fact for you guys. So let's do charge attacks here. I don't want to waste my running speed that much. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we just aim at him. And then shoot. There we go. We all get our burst back anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we did waste our burst right there. But there we go. Alright, let's do E. Let's tag him. Do Q. Do Q with her. And then do Q with Baishu. And then do Q with Raiden since she has max stacks. And there we go. Kablam! Yeah, as you see there, really busted, works on Scaramouche, and he is a kind of a recent boss too. So yeah. Well, anyways, time to showcase Nahida in the next Sumeru boss, and then we could just showcase her with her max damage output. So let's just go to the next boss in Sumeru. Alright, so here we are in the Realm of Beginnings, aka the domain that this thing is from. I don't even know the name of this thing because it is way too long and complicated. So yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna be choosing a different team this time, and that'll be the Nilou Bloom team. So yeah, I never get a chance to showcase this team anyway because of, well, how much it has gone down recently in the rankings. But it's still a really good team regardless, and I will showcase why. So here is the Nilou Bloom team in action, with Nahida as the sub, of course. Alright. So it's going to be doing its long animation right here. There's no way of skipping this, sadly. I could try to switch characters. Yeah, okay, never mind. It does work. Okay. Alright, so we'll just tag him right here. We need Dendro Traveler's Q up. There we go. We just got it up. Alright, and then we'll have Kokomi do main DPS shenaniganery here. And get its health down really low. Alright, we're gonna reapply Nilou's E. And then reapply Nahida's Q. Alright, well, Dendro Traveler missed that. That sucks. Ooh, that hurts. Oh yeah, by the way, the thing you want to know about Nahida is that she is wet tissue paper on her defense, so you don't want her to get hit. Because if you get hit, well, she might die in like 2 hits. So yeah, keep that in mind if you are running Nahida. But yeah, she's basically wet toilet paper in terms of damage. Like takeage, or basically damage sustain. She does not sustain a lot of damage because she doesn't have high HP to begin with. So yeah, always keep that in mind if you are running Nahida on a team. Especially with Hyperbloom, since blooms will damage you as well. But yeah, but with Kokomi, it's fine if we do take a bunch of damage here or there. And that's because of how much she heals. Yeah, Kokomi is a goat. So yeah. Alright, so we're about to finish here. Let's tag these guys and then let's reapply the bloom reaction. Alright, let's do it again. Yeah, but as you see here, Nilou Bloom makes quick work of this boss, as you see there. There's the first half done with the mob fight. Alright, here's the second half. Oh boy. So let's reapply her E again, like always. Tag. He's gonna go underground, so I have to predict where he comes up. So there we go. Alright, we can do Nilou Burst right here. and we can just do a bunch of normal attacks. Alright, we can just go over here to avoid that attack. Right there. Alright, we can reapply her E. Alright, let's finish this off, shall we? I think I tagged them already. Yeah, I did. Okay, that's good. Alright. Let's do EQ. And then we can stay on Nilou for a bit. Alright, now we can go to Kokomi and then just do big healing normal attack damage. And then finish it off with Nahida. There we go! Yeah, as you see there, Nilou Bloom team still works fine. Really, really good team in general. So yeah, even though it hasn't been used that much, it's still a really good team to run regardless. So yeah. Well, anyways, now it's time to showcase Nahida's max damage output, and since, well, she does a lot of damage, it's time to showcase her on the one boss that you can damage showcase on. Everyone already knows who it is. It's time to take her to the Raiden boss. Alright, so here we are in the Raiden domain. So, of course, I'm going to be showcasing why I use this team, and also the reasoning as to why I'm using the team members that I am using right now. So, here we go. So we have Nahida, who is the main damage dealer. Of course, you already know that she is C2 and that she has deep wood and all that other stuff. So yeah. We have Kuki Shinobu right here. She has higher EM than Raiden, which is why I am running Kuki instead. As you see here, 800 EM. Yeah. And if you look at Nahida's EM, she's at 900 because she is on a double Dendro team. So yeah. Farina here is also here as well to buff the team members with 10 and 10 as here for her talents. She has C2 Constellation, meaning that her Q will be accelerated as well. And she also has the Tranquil Waters weapon as well, which is her best weapon. I forgot to showcase in Kuki as well. She has Iron Sting, which is R5. It's not level max yet, but she still has high EM. Her artifact set basically allows her to do Hyperbloom damage, which is really detrimental for this Hyperbloom team. So yeah. And then we have Baiju right here, who has high HP. Also has Prototype Amber with talents like this, and he's also here for this, which basically increases Hyperbloom damage. So yeah, this is my team in general. Hopefully this will work out, and hopefully we could just kill Raiden before she even has a chance to do her second phase, which I think most likely might be the case. Alright, so of course I'm going to be tagging her here. We're going to be using all of our E's, and then we can just do normal attacks on Raiden right here. Yeah, look at that damage right there. We're already almost at half health, and she's not even done with her Electro build-up, as you see here. Alright, we're gonna be using her EQ. Alright, let's do her E. Look at that! 60k damage! 60k! Yeah, that damage is absolutely ridiculous. Look at that! Yeah, no. That is your max Nahida showcase, baby! That is your max damage showcase on Nahida. Look at that! That damage is absolutely ridiculous, as you see there. So, anyways, now it's time to just showcase her talents and then give you my final thoughts on her. If you already know my opinion, then you know my opinion, but as you see in the showcase already, you probably know your opinion as well as to what Nahida is. But for you guys who are still curious about it, I'll just go over it. So I'm going to be going over her overview and give my final thoughts on her. Alright, so here is Nahida, aka the Dendro Archon, aka Lesser Lord Kusanali. So, yeah. I'm gonna be, of course, talking about her talents and then her constellations and giving my final thoughts and overview. But if you have been paying attention in this video, you already know what my final thoughts are. But let's just go over her talents and constellations. So here we go. So here is her talent. Normal attack, Akara, which does 4 basic normal attacks. And also, if you do a charge attack, she does an AoE box in front of her. which is really cool. She can also do a plunging attack as well. You mainly are using her for normal attacks, mostly if you are using on-field Nahida. Of course, if you want to use on-field Nahida, level this up first, of course. If you are using off-field Nahida, level these two up first. Mainly, you want to level up her Q first, because that is where her support capabilities are. And then you level up her E, and you level up her normal attack. If you are running sub-DPS Nahida, then you level up E first, then Q, then normal attack. And if you are leveling up a on-field Nahida, then you level up normal attack, then E, then Q. So yeah, basically the order in general for leveling up talents is for support, Q, E, normal, and then for sub, it's E, Q, normal, and then for on-field, it's normal, E, Q. So yeah, that's basically it. So that is normal attack Akara. Here is her E, all schemes to know, where she does AoE Dendro damage and she can mark up to 8 players with Seeds of Sigils, or Sakandara, where she is able to deal Dendro damage when you do a application. So yeah, as long as you do a reaction, she's able to do Dendro damage. And it is really, really, really good. As you see here, it's able to do Dendro reactions and also do Dendro damage based off her attack and EM, but mostly her EM. That's where her stack is. So basically you want to run her with max EM. The more EM you have, the more Dendro damage she's able to do with her E, which is linked to other people. By the way, all you have to do is do one reaction to one person, because if you do that one reaction to that one person, it does a chain reaction depending on how many people you marked, and those people take damage. So yeah, it is really, really good on AoE as well, because as long as you do one reaction on Dendro, you're able to do Dendro damage to everyone who is marked on the sigil. Busted. As for her Q, we have Illusionary Heart, or Illusory Heart, which basically summons the Court of Dreams, and then she's able to get buffs based on how many characters are on your team. So if you have Pyro, you're able to increase the damage dealt. If you have Electro, you basically reduce the interval between the Tri-Karma purifications from this E, meaning that you're able to do more damage, obviously. And then for Hydro, you basically, your Q gets increased duration. So yeah, of course, this gets boosted by constellations, of course, but since, if you are going to be running C0 Nahida, here is basically your stats on level 10. As you see here, with one character on Electro, you're basically doing 45-second intervals. For one character in Hydro, you're basically increasing the Q by 6.02 seconds. For Pyro characters, you're basically increasing the damage by 26.8 seconds. And by the way, this Q is up infinitely, by the way, because if you build her with high enough ER, and you don't really need that much ER since her MG cost is 50, her Q is up by 15 seconds. And her cooldown is 13.5. So basically you get 1.5 seconds of doing whatever you want. So yeah, really busted character in general, as you see there. Her kit's already good enough, as you see here. I mean, look at this. Dendro application, her Q just increases buffs on her party members. What is more broken than that? Her passives. Yeah, you'll see what I mean. So when you unleash Q, you will get EM increased by 25% of party members. So yeah, basically you get 250 EM in this matter. So basically, you can take your party members' EM and you just take it with you. Yeah, really, really good. It's so broken! It's so broken! So, it's either you can build your other character with high EM, or you build Nahida with high EM, because it gives that EM to that party member specifically. So yeah, so with Nahida, if you have, let's say, 1000 EM, then you can give a party member 250 EM for free. Flat. That's free. For free! You get 250 EM for free. It's dumb. It's really, really dumb. So yeah, it's really good. It's actually really, really good. So yeah, 25% of EM of the highest EM character, which is basically going to be your Nahida. So you can give your party members 250 EM. This applies to herself too. So yeah, you could just gain another flat EM boost. Really busted. And here is her other passive talent, Awaken Elucidated. So basically, for each point in her EM beyond 200, so basically you only get a max of 1,000. That's the reason why you should build your Nahida at least at 800 or under 1,000. But 1,000 is always the sweet spot on her. So yeah, but basically if you are beyond 200 EM, you get damage bonus and crit rate bonus on E. You get a max of 80% damage bonus, a 24% crit rate. So, again, you need a builder with EM. The more EM you have, the more buffs she's able to give. So yeah, as you see here, EM, 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 EM. Yeah, she needs all the EM in the world. Definitely. She is busted as crap. And also, she has an overworld talent as well, which is all, or on all things meditated, which basically gives her E a property where she's able to collect harvestable items. So basically flowers, potatoes, berries, basically anything that is a plant she's able to collect. Busted. It's busted. 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 And she's also really good at collecting overworld talent materials as well. So yeah, really, really good character to put on the team if you want to harvest a lot of materials. So yeah. And here we are with the constellations, and they are some of the most broken constellations I've ever seen, besides, well, other characters like Yelan, Nouvelette, Raiden, yeah. Those characters like that with really broken constellations. So yeah, Nahida is also up there for having some of the most broken constellations. So yeah. So here's C1, the Seed of Stored Knowledge. So when your Shrine of Maya is up, and basically all your party members will count as 1. So basically, remember when I said that at C0 Nahida, you can have 1 character and then it'll trigger the buff? So now that 1 character becomes 2. So as long as you bring, well, let's say a pyro character like Toma, as long as you bring Toma and not any other pyro character, you get the 2 character buff instead. So basically what that means is that you can run whatever you want on Nahida now, because she's able to get the full buff. So you want to run a Hyperbloom team without sacrificing 2 Electro characters for that buff, you can just run 1 instead. So yeah, you can just run, instead of running, let's say, Fischl and Yae Miko, you can just run Yae Miko instead, and then you just get the 2 character buff anyway. Yeah, that is what her C1 does. Really busted as crap. And that's just her C1. Her C2, the Root of All Fullness, is a really broken constellation that basically makes her one of the best sub DPSs in the game, if not the best sub DPS in the game, just because of the effect it gives. So, when she does Burning, Bloom, Hyperbloom, or Burgeon, she gets a flat 20% crit rate and 100% crit damage on her E! Her E! Broken! Broken, broken, broken. And that's on top of this. The 24% crit rate, that's on top of that. That's broken as crap! And also, it's on top of what you give her on her build as well. So you're able to do a ton of damage with this constellation. It's so broken. And also, if you're affected by Quicken, Aggravate, and Spread, you're basically, you can decrease the defense of a enemy by 30%. Guess what this works well with? Main DPS Raiden. Remember C2 Raiden where she ignores 60% defense? If you do a Quicken or Aggravate reaction, and you can decrease it by 30%, that is 90% defense ignored. 90% defense ignored. Yeah, busted as crap. It's just way too busted. So yeah, if you want to elevate your Nahida to the next level, C2 is the way to go. As for Constellation 3, we have the Shoot of Consciousness Attainment, which basically increases all schemes to know by 3 levels. So basically her E. Her Constellation 4 is also really interesting too, which basically if there are more opponents affected by all schemes to know, which basically her E, so it's either 1, 2, 3, or 4, most likely it'll be 4. you will get an elemental mastery increase based on how many people you tag. So 100 on 1, 120 on 2, 400 or 140 on 3, 160 on 4. You're mainly going to get the 160 anyway. So basically that means you're going to be doing even more damage because of how much EM she has. Yeah, it's way too busted. I'll just say that. Her Constellation 5, the Leaves of Enlightened Speech, basically increases her Q by 3 levels, which is pretty nice. And her C6 just makes her an even more broken DPS than she ever will be. So when you hit someone with an E, and also unleash Illusory using Illusory Heart, you will get Dendro damage. Yeah, by 200% of Nahida's attack and 400% of Nahida's EM. You know how broken that is? That's extremely broken. So, not only this is getting replaced right here. It's just way too busted. Look at this. So, you get attack and EM, right? It scales off of this level right here. Like, you see 371 attack, and then like 185 or 185% attack, 371 EM. This gets boosted even further. You get 200 and 400! Busted! And that's her E! That's just on her E alone! That's just on her E alone. All you have to do is do a normal attack. Yeah. You have to do a normal attack with her Q. Or you tag her with E! All you have to do is tag people with E or use her Q and a normal attack. And she's able to get Dendro damage based off her attack and EM. So... yeah, it's just so busted. And she had 6 uses, by the way. 6 uses. Yeah. Broken. She becomes one of the best Dendro characters in the game, if not the best Dendro character. And also one of the best characters in general. She's just way too broken. So, with that being said, my final thoughts on the character. Do I really need to say anything else? She's a contender for the best character in the game! She can even beat Raiden if she wants to! Yeah, that's why people debate on whether Raiden or Nahida is the best character in the game. Because 3 of them share the same role. They can both become a main DPS, they both can become a sub DPS, and they both become a support. Yeah, Nahida and Raiden are often fought as the best character in the game. In general. And by in general, I mean filling every single role in the game. Basically, by fitting them into so many teams possible. So, yeah. Nahida, I would say, is the best character in the game. Or one of the best characters in the game, too. Yeah. I would say that she is equal to Raiden. Yeah, I'll say that. I'll even put it in the title of the video. The best character in the game. Yeah. I am not joking. I will put her as the best character in the game because she deserves that title, just like Raiden. So yeah, if you're wondering why this has the best character in the game on the title, and that's because she deserves it, just like Raiden. So both Raiden and Nahida are the best character in the game. Also, well, Nahida is the best Dendro character in the game, and Raiden's the best Electro character in the game. So yeah, there's no other title to give Nahida than the best character in the game, because she just deserves it. So yeah. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching this Nahida showcase video. I know it's a long video, but I'm glad you guys sticked around if you did watch this far. So yeah. Make sure to like the video if you do like this showcase video, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on the notification bell to not miss out on a single upload that I do on this channel. I do mostly once a week uploads, so yeah, if you do subscribe and like the video, again, greatly appreciate everyone's support. Helps me keep me going, pumping these videos out for you guys. It is a real pleasure for you guys to keep supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. So thank you guys again for supporting the channel. Also, comment down below, what do you think of Nahida? You think she's good? You think she's bad? You think my opinion on Nahida is justified? You think it's not? You think she's the best character in the game along with Raiden? You think she's not? Do you think she's better than Raiden? Or do you think she's worse than Raiden? Or do you think, well, She literally is the downright best character in the game. Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this Genshin showcase video, and I'll see you guys in the next Genshin video.